Someone's reading you right now. Not metaphorically, literally. They're cataloging your reactions, mapping your triggers, noting when you flinch. And here's what Machiavelli discovered but was forced to burn. The 5 tactics that make you unreadable forever. Most people shouldn't watch this, because once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. Once you know who's been playing you, you can't unknow it. This is the knowledge they buried with Machiavelli. The tactics Jung wouldn't publish. The truth that turns prey into predator. Right now, people are asking, why do manipulators always win? How do they control conversations without speaking? What makes someone untouchable? Who benefits from my reactions? And why have I been so easy to read? By the end of this video, you'll understand why you've been losing every psychological game. And more importantly, how to flip the board entirely. Here's the situation. Every day, you leak power through your reactions. The loyalty vampires feed on your consistency. The masked pleasers study your tells. The emotional terrorists map your triggers. If you ignore this, you remain their puppet forever. But stick around and you'll cut every string they've attached. I'm about to show you something that changes how you see every conversation for the rest of your life. But first, understand this. Someone in your life has been using these tactics on you. Their face just flashed in your mind. Hold that feeling, because after you learn the first tactic, you'll know exactly how they've been playing you. The average person lives as an open book. You're about to become a locked vault, and once that vault closes, it never opens the same way again. The first tactic is what I call the silence test. But before I reveal how it works, watch what happens tomorrow. Someone will ask you a question. Your instinct will scream to fill the silence. That urge? That's not yours. It's programmed, and I'm about to show you who programmed it. The silence test reveals everything. Who needs validation? Who commands respect? Who's predator? Who's prey? When you speak immediately, you bleed data. When you pause, you force them into the open. Here's what most people never realize. Silence is a weapon they've been using against you. That boss who pauses before feedback, reading your anxiety levels. That friend who goes quiet when you share success, testing your need for approval. You've been failing this test your whole life. But here's where it gets dark. Try this tomorrow. Someone asks you something. Count 3 full seconds before responding. 1, 2, 3. Watch their face change. See the shift. Feel their discomfort. You've just flipped the power dynamic without saying a word. This connects to something darker. What Jung called the shadow. The parts of you that you hide. But shadows only exist in light. In silence, there are no shadows. You become the void they project onto. Comment silent if you're going to practice the 3-second pause tomorrow. But warning, once you see how they react, you'll realize how readable you've been. Someone used this on you last week. Think about it. That conversation that felt off, they were measuring your silence tolerance, testing how quickly you crack. And you cracked, didn't you? The moment you master silence, you become dangerous. Not because you're mean, because you're unreadable. They can't manipulate what they can't predict, but that's only the beginning. Hold that thought, because what comes next exposes why emotional control is everything. Most people never discover this because they're too busy feeling. But feelings are just another form of data, and you've been giving yours away for free. Once you use this first tactic, part of you dies. The weak part, the readable part. What remains is someone they should fear. But first, let me show you what they do with your emotions. The second tactic will make you angry at yourself. It's called emotional assassination, not killing emotions, killing their power over you. See, every emotional terrorist needs one thing, your reaction. They throw guilt. You flinch. They win. They trigger anger. You explode. They win. But what happens when you feel everything and show nothing? Is someone doing this to you right now? Testing your emotional buttons? Pushing to see you crack? You already know who. Their face just flashed in your mind. Jung called this shadow integration. But Jung was being polite. This is emotional warfare, and you've been fighting unarmed. When someone tries to trigger you, feel it fully. Let the emotion wash through you. Count to 2. Then respond to the content, not the feeling. Here's the exact script. They attack. You absorb. You lower your voice. Interesting perspective. They escalate. You stay calm. Tell me more. They panic. You've just won a game they didn't know you were playing. Remember this feeling. You'll need it for what comes next. Because emotional detachment isn't about not feeling. It's about choosing when your feelings matter. Type untouchable if someone just lost their power over you. Don't say their name. They'll figure it out when you stop reacting. They want you to feel. That's how they control you. Every tear is intel. Every smile is data. Every flinch is a confirmed kill. True power begins when nothing they say reaches your nerves. But there's something darker I haven't told you yet. This isn't about becoming heartless. It's about becoming strategic. Feel everything. Show nothing. The average person is an emotional puppet show. Pull string, get reaction. But you're cutting those strings permanently. What Nietzsche called will to power is simpler than you think. It's needing nothing from the interaction. When you need nothing, you control everything. When you're outcome independent, you become magnetically dangerous. Once you practice this for a week, your old personality dies. The reactive you, the predictable you. What remains? Someone who feels deeply, but reveals nothing. Someone they can't read. Someone they start to fear. This is where most people stop watching. They're not ready for this level of transformation. But you're still here, which means you're ready for the mirror that shows everyone's true face. You're not becoming heartless. You're becoming unreadable. And unreadable people control every room they enter, but only if they master the next tactic. Commente couteau si vous êtes prêt à couper les cordes émotionnelles. Tomorrow, they'll pull. Nothing will move. One word only. Comment what dies today. Nice, weak, readable, naive, used. Let's see who's really ready to transform. The third tactic is what Machiavelli called the art of seeming. I call it the mirror trap. But here's what they don't want you to know. Everyone projects. The liar sees lies everywhere. The cheater suspects everyone. The manipulator finds manipulation in kindness. This isn't philosophy. This is a weapon. Schopenhauer knew this. We don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are. So when you become nothing, they see everything about themselves. Remember this feeling, because after you learn the mirror trap, you'll see it everywhere. That colleague who accuses others of politics, they're the most political. That friend who sees ulterior motives, they have the most. When you become a mirror, something strange happens. You disappear, not physically, psychologically. You reflect their energy back without adding yours. They see themselves, not you. And people always reveal their secrets to their own reflection. Here's your assignment. Comment, mirror. If you're going to try the mirror defense tomorrow, reflect their energy back without adding your own. Come back and tell us what happened. Tomorrow's implementation. When someone's aggressive, reflect calm strength. When they're suspicious, show mild concern. You're not agreeing, you're mirroring. And mirrors don't have opinions. They just reveal truth. But here's where it gets disturbing. The masked pleasers hate mirrors because mirrors show their real face. The loyalty vampires avoid mirrors because mirrors reveal their hunger. You're about to become everyone's worst nightmare, a surface that shows them themselves. I used to be like you, explaining myself, justifying my choices. Then I discovered what Freud kept in his private notes. That projection is confession. Now I let them confess while I take notes. Hold that thought, because the next tactic is so powerful, most people can't handle using it. It's the difference between wanting power and becoming it. Fair warning, this one changes your relationships forever. Comment your country flag if you're ready to become unreadable in any language. The unreadable ones exist everywhere. The fourth tactic will cost you fake friends. Good. It's called strategic withdrawal. They've trained you like a dog, to respond immediately, to explain absence, to justify boundaries. Every time you obey, you hand them a leash. The strategic withdrawal doesn't just cut the leash, It burns the entire kennel down. But first, understand why you're addicted to availability. Power isn't loud. It's the person everyone notices leaving. When you withdraw strategically, you create psychological quicksand. The more they chase, the deeper they sink. Your absence becomes gravity. It pulls without effort. Here's what Schopenhauer discovered about human nature. We only value what might disappear. Always available, you're furniture. Selectively present, you're an event. The most powerful person in any dynamic, the one who can leave. Comment ghost if there's someone you're about to strategically disappear on. Watch how quickly they recalibrate when you stop being predictable. This week, identify your biggest loyalty vampire. Someone who feeds on your consistency. Tomorrow, don't respond immediately. Wait 4 hours, then 8, then a full day. Brief response, no explanation. Document their panic. The withdrawal gambit works because of something Jung called the collective unconscious. We're wired to chase what runs, to value what's scarce, to obsess over mysteries. You're about to become all three. But here's the part that will make you uncomfortable. Withdrawal isn't cruel. It's surgical. You're not punishing them. You're reprogramming the dynamic, making your attention scarce, your validation rare, your presence valuable. Control the supply like a dealer. Make them appreciate what they took for granted. The art of the clean exit. Leave them wondering, not understanding. Disappear when they expect you most. Return when they've stopped hoping. Become unpredictable. Become powerful. Comment day 1 if you're starting strategic withdrawal from someone tomorrow. Update us each day with day 2, day 3. Watch how they change. Most powerful person in the room? The one who left early. Because they can. Because they don't need the room's validation. They are the validation. What I'm about to tell you next might make you angry. At them. At yourself. At me for showing you. Good. Anger means you're waking up. This is your test. Comment free if you just gave yourself permission to disappoint people who need you weak. Liberation starts with permission. The 5th tactic is the end game. Psychological gravity. This is where you stop chasing and start attracting, where your silence speaks louder than their noise, where your presence bends reality. Einstein proved mass warps space. You're about to prove presence warps people. But creating gravity requires accepting something most can't. You must become comfortable being misunderstood, being unreadable, being feared, because mystery is power, and power is lonely. Until it isn't. Here's your blueprint for psychological gravity. Enter rooms 5 seconds late. Let anticipation build. Hold eye contact 2 beats too long. Let them look away first. Speak less. Mean more. Move slower while others rush. Become the eye of their hurricane. Nietzsche called it will to power. But it's simpler. It's needing nothing from the interaction. When you need nothing, you control everything. When you're outcome independent, you become magnetically dangerous. Touch your jaw when they lie. They'll wonder what you know. Turn your body away while maintaining eye contact. Mixed signals create obsession. End conversations mid-sentence. Actually, never mind. Leave them hungry for more. The real question isn't why, it's who benefits from your predictability. Every institution needing compliance, every person feeding on your consistency, every system requiring your weakness. Comment the emoji that represents your transformation. Ghost, stone, ice, void. Let's see what you're becoming. But here's what separates psychological gravity from manipulation. You're not trying to control them. You're becoming uncontrollable. Not building a reputation, building a legend. They should feel your presence in empty rooms. Your silence should have personality. You're crafting a psychological signature nobody can forge. That feeling in your chest? That's your old self dying. The people pleaser, the reactor, the open book. If you want to complete this transformation, subscribe now. Because next week, I reveal Jung's shadow techniques that make these look gentle. Who just lost their power over you? Comment theater if someone's mask just fell in your mind. Most people can't handle this level of truth. They'll watch this and stay the same, hoping things change. But you're different. You're implementing. Tomorrow, you practice silence. Next week, emotional assassination. Within a month, unrecognizable. Rate your readability before this video. 1, closed book, to 10, transparent. Comment your number. Let's see who's ready to drop to 0. While they're explaining themselves, you're 3 moves ahead. They need to be liked. You need to be effective. They fear misunderstanding. You weaponize ambiguity. Most people play checkers. You're playing a game they don't know exists. Night owl's comment star. Early riser's son. Let's see when the unreadable ones watch. We recognize our own. But here's the final warning. Power corrupts. Not because it's evil, because it's addictive. Once you taste being unreadable, you'll never accept being an open book. Once you experience psychological freedom, you'll never wear chains again. Once you become the void others project onto, you'll never be satisfied being understood. They called you difficult for having boundaries, cold for not reacting, mysterious for not explaining. They were right. That's exactly why you're becoming powerful. This knowledge comes with a cost. You'll never have an innocent conversation again. Every interaction becomes data. Every person becomes readable. Every room becomes a game board. And you can't turn it off. Fair warning, your relationships will change. The weak ones won't survive. The users will panic. The manipulators will flee. What remains? People who respect power, who appreciate mystery, who don't need you readable to love you. Final test. Comment, I'm becoming cold. If you're done being everyone's emotional supply, let's see who's really ready to transform. You can't go back. The person who clicked this video believed in fairness, in authenticity, in being understood. That person is gone. What remains chooses power over comfort, mystery over transparency, effect over affection. You're not broken. You were surviving. Power isn't evil. Powerlessness is dangerous. You're not becoming cruel. You're becoming surgical, not heartless, strategic, not cold, untouchable. Welcome to the other side, where silence is a weapon, absence is presence, mystery is power, where you finally become what they've always feared: unreadable, untouchable, unstoppable. Now you can read anyone. But they're learning to read you too, unless you become unreadable first. Next week, I show you how to become unforgettable, how to haunt rooms you've left, how to become the person others tell stories about. The game was always rigged. Now you know the rules. Tomorrow, you start winning. You know what to do.